Sleeping Beauty. Once upon a time there was a king. His wife was beautiful and endowed with all the virtues. The people of his kingdom were happy. Although there was no scarcity of anything, the kind and the queen were not happy. The reason was that they had no child. They used to pray to God for an issue every day. After many years, God answered their prayers and a daughter was born to them. The king and the queen decided to celebrate the birth of their daughter with great pomp and show in the kingdom. They invited all their fairies on the occasion, but they forgot to invite an old fairy. There was great merriment on the day of function in the palace. All the fairies came to bless the princess. They blessed the princess with qualities like beauty, intelligence, good virtues, and so on. Suddenly, the old and ugly fairy appeared. She was very angry. She said, "The princess cannot be blessed without my blessings." The king and the queen got frightened. The king said, "I am sorry. I forgot to invite you. Please pardon us." "O king, do not make excuses. You have insulted me. Now you will be punished." The old fairy cursed. In her youth, a spindle of spinning wheel would pierce her finger, and she would die. Then the old fairy went away. Hearing the curse, all including the king and the queen were stunned. They sank in sorrow, but fortunately a little fairy had not yet blessed the princess. She said, "Do not worry, the princess will not die. She will be in deep sleep for 100 years. Then a prince will come, and by his mere touch the princess will wake up. Thus, the effect of the curse will be over." The princess slowly grew up. The blessings of the fairies had made her intelligent, virtuous, and beautiful. The princess had come to know about the curse of the old fairy. She wanted to see the spindle, but all were destroyed by the king. One day, while the princess was roaming in the compound of the palace, she saw an old tower. The princess wanted to see it. She went up the stairs. She saw an old lady who was spinning the thread. The princess asked her, "What are you doing?" She said, "Spinning the thread on the spinning wheel. Would you like to spin the thread?" "Why not? The spindle looks as though it is dancing," she replied curiously. The old lady gave it to the princess. She said, "I will show it to my parents." Then the princess began to descend the stairs quickly. Suddenly, she slipped and she fell on the ground. The spindle pierced her finger, and she went into a slumber then and there. When the king came to know, he rushed there and took the princess to her room. The little fairy came and waved her magic wand, and the whole palace went into a deep sleep. The king, the queen, the courtiers, the servants, the guards, and all others too. Everyone fell asleep then and there. Time passed by, and there grew thorny bushes, trees, and plants around the palace. The news of the sleeping princess spread far and wide. Many princes came there to try their luck, but could not succeed. Thus, the period of the curse for 100 years got reduced year after year. Then, one day, a prince happened to pass by. He came across an old man who said to him, "Are you going to try your luck?" "What do you mean?" asked the prince. Then the old man narrated the whole story to the prince. He also told him that earlier many princes came there, but none could reach the palace. Then the prince said, "I will ride the princess of the curse of the old fairy at any cost." Then the prince turned his horse towards the palace, the path cleared by itself. He reached the palace. The prince was surprised to see everyone asleep. Somehow he reached the room where the princess lay asleep on her bed. He reached her bed. As he looked at her, he was charmed by her beauty, even in her sleep. He fell in love with her at first sight. He held her hand in his own. Mere touch of his hand made the princess get rid of the curse, and she awoke. Slowly, she opened her eyes and said, "O prince, you have come." The curse was over, and all woke up. Life returned in the palace. The prince said to the princess, "Would you like to marry me?" The princess said, "But first you must take the permission from my parents." By that time the king and the queen had also arrived. They thanked the prince and happily agreed to the princess, married to him. Their marriage was solemnized with great pomp and show. All the fairies except the old fairy came there to bless the couple. All were happy. The prince brought the princess to his palace, and they lived happily ever after.